She said I will find it myself, find my haven if I only take her hand. Why are you still? Why do you do? Why don't you mend? There's so much more you could make of this world. And she
into Fury now as they will start to prep their rotate in towards the zone.
I wanna be forever young.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to PGIS Down Under with myself, Saga UK, and I've brought to you the greatest that OCE has to offer. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the 4 members of Fury Pubg. We have, of course, Mr. Jesse, leaning all the way back himself, all the way back in the chair, ready to provide that sweet, sweet insight. Get it?
Hello, hello.
It was a good one. Good one. We also have, is it Ronan? Is it Ronan? No, it's Matt. Hi, Matt.
Oh.
Oh.
I thought you were a caster. I thought you knew
Never
how to
heard
say
of
my
it.
name.
No. It's Renan. That's my favorite. Renan. We have
Pronounced with an I.
the man who needs no introduction, but I'm going to give him one anyway. It is Waika Kamukau. Big fan.
What's up,
Big
everyone?
fan.
Woo!
Woo!
I got a cow montage done
Yeah.
today. That was really
Lovely job. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, sorry, I want to kill myself a little bit. It's Flood. Don't you worry about it, because that one,
That's me.
I definitely haven't been working on that one behind the scenes for like a week. Don't you worry. How's it hanging? What's going on? No scrims tonight, so what have you all been up to?
Yep. I'm
Sneaky
disappointed
game
in
mode,
everyone.
Matt.
Hanging nice and low. I'm not wearing shorts right now, so I can't stand up.
All right, we'll save that for the after hours stream.
Ooh.
But all right, so
It's our OnlyFans. We're doing a Fury OnlyFans soon.
so this is it's kind of an experimental thing, right, Cal? This was sort of an idea that you had just to get everyone together, just to talk about PGIS, because you know you got nothing better to do.
Like both like any good idea that I have, I'm pretty sure it came from a viewer. I think somebody was like, I think I was streaming one day, and they're like, you guys should do like a analysis video of like PGIS, and I was just like, oh, that'd be actually like pretty cool to do. So like all my good ideas, I can't take credit for them.
Unoriginal.
Unoriginal, yeah. That's fair. That's me.
Just like your name.
Yeah.
Plastered everywhere.
It makes me feel good if I can be a part of PGIS in some way, I guess. So this I have to do. I have to be with my teammates somehow. This is our bonding time.
That's one way to get
Can't
involved.
be there.
yeah.
We can talk
I know,
about it.
but you know what? If you were there, you've seen the sweetness that is that stage setup, right? Let's take a quick glance at what you're currently missing out on, but you get to enjoy it from like the perspective of the viewer. What do you think of the stage setup? I think it looks pretty sick.
I reckon it's awesome.
I think it's pretty cool. Yeah.
I love it.
I just wonder how they get up there, because I'm seeing all these like slopey little bits, and I'm like, do you slip down the slide with like snakes and ladder and shit, and do you climb up them?
I'm gonna
I
guess
thought-
stairs.
Yeah. Okay.
I reckon there's probably a bunch of scaffolding. Like
Yeah,
in the
that's
middle.
right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
for
I
sure.
can imagine something like,
Just wondering.
like face it.
Sounds more practical, but less fun than just like sliding into your booth. If you got to,
Do you
like-
guys? Do you guys remember that time at Face It where they were testing the fireworks? Does anyone remember that? And I was standing right next to the fireworks. Oh my god, I'll never forget that. I was standing backstage and they were doing like a test run of everything. And I'm leaning up talking to, I can't remember who, because I think it was Jukesy actually. And they just tested the fireworks right next to me and just like shot fireworks right behind my back. And I just shit myself.
Dude, at
That was
Nations-
like Omen. Like when the fireworks when we won, and
Oh,
Juicy
Juicy.
shat himself. Juicy shat himself.
Dude,
Yeah.
at Nations Cup, they had these things, like sort of fireworks things, every time the game ended, and it would put all like ash on your mouse pad, and
That's
it would
not
like it would
okay.
like burn your hands. I was like, oh fuck,
does not sound great.
yeah.
All right, so PGIS started off obviously with the weekly rank decision, the first of the weekly rank decisions, and things were a bit like okay for this part, like compared to what a normal tournament would look like, because they're using all the super settings and all that kind of stuff. But overall, the standings definitely looked a little bit different after the first setup than what some people might have imagined. If we've got the final standings just there, just so you can jog your memory just to refresh. So obviously Sonics came out on top overall. Down one closely in second, but they were holding on to that first place spot for quite some time. But Shoot to Kill up there in the top three as well. It was a massive performance from NA. Does anyone want to have any comments about that? Any teams that stand out in particular, or teams that underperformed that you think?
I think MCG underperformed hard.
Definitely.
Like the 32nd. They had a shocker.
It's pretty sad.
True.
I had some people ask me like who I thought was like, yeah, my top three to win. I was like, I'm chucking MCG up there. I might have to change that. I remember
How many
them saying that.
PCSs have they actually played though? MCG.
Two?
I think Two?
The last two, and they smashed them, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident it's only been the last two.
Some of
Did
the
they win
others,
one?
though, some of the other teams on the bottom of the leaderboard there kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tank
Pretty much
played
all of them make
really.
sense.
Tank for that team, they played really good during the ranking decision as well. Like I swear he was like fragging. Like every time I saw them playing and Tank was fragging, I was like, oh yeah, these guys are gonna come back. They're not gonna be bottom of the leaderboard, and they're stuck there.
Yeah, it's a
Unlucky.
bit be like that sometimes, where especially it's almost weird that in the super settings, the teams that have done well like internationally didn't really
Yeah.
perform that great. But then you've got
Yeah.
teams like you say, you can sort of expect. Usually the Japanese teams don't make it too far in PCS Asia, and it's like the same sort of thing here. But NA, man, they really came to play.
Mm-hmm. I was really impressed by Sonics and SDK so far. I think they're playing like super clean.
Playing with like big balls as well. Like for the
Yeah.
most part, it's pretty insane. But like you were just saying, then I think besides MCG, that bottom like I don't know, from like 24th downwards, all looks like pretty like stock standard.
What you'd,
you know what I
what
mean?
you'd expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like besides MCG's the only calamity there where I'm like, that's insane. Everybody else I think is like, that's kind of where they belong for the most part. Like they wouldn't be like you wouldn't expect that much more at least.
I actually thought that NA would struggle a little bit. So I've had the opinion of they haven't actually versed any other real regions like in PCS. They've all just played their own NA, whereas like Asia has the combined meta of like China and Japan, and then EU has EU's a huge player base. We play in SEA, and I came out with the opinion that NA might struggle because they're so used to that nice and structured versing the same teams like every other day. I thought they would kind of shit the bed a little bit, but that actually really impressed me. So
No, they definitely did not shit the bed. It's,
Is this the beast from the east?
the other
Is this
team,
the
like
team that
it was
we know,
weird at the
Toby?
start that
They seem to
Korea
have
was
come
coming
alive
out
today.
looking incredibly strong, especially Damonkia, but
looks
like
like
this
they've
clip
claimed
stood
the
out
west
to
side
me
of the
as
circle, and they've been
Korea
withstanding
is like
everything
here to
coming their
actually
way so
dominate.
far. I think
Once
I've
again,
seen
like
4 or
this
5
shit
top
happened so
players
fast
on
that like
Navi,
Toby
and
and
they're
Sims are still talking about
all
Navi
full up.
by
That's
the
how
by
we
the
know
time that
Navi
this
can play. That's
this
how
ends.
dominant
It's
they can be. And
ridiculous.
I am
Oh my
not
That's
thinking
just
he's
clean.
tripping. He just take out
They
the
get to like
entirety
these are
of
the
K7.
guys that like get to play like
What?
9-8
He's done
hours
the
like
dirty,
a
he's
day
done the
straight,
entire
and they've
team.
just like
Is
perfected
this
like
the beast from the east?
I don't know.
Is this
Like
the team that
as
we
far as
know,
I've
Toby?
heard, they do
seem
this
to
in
have come
training
alive
mode. They'll
today.
get like teammates or like coaches or
sure as
whoever
hell looks
they
to the
want
left.
to drive
Make
around in
sure that
training
the
modes, and
pings
they'll like
are
practice
pinching
like shooting
down
them out of
the
cars in
Navi
the
players
training
and
modes and
taking
just
them
do
out
that
one
for like
by one.
30 minutes a
Look at this
day.
little
Great to
Montman
see
peak right here.
SDK finally winning a game
Look at
because
that.
Oh,
before this
that's
game,
So
in the 8th game,
gross. So gross.
Yeah.
Ugh. So, but
So
Damn.
so they're the best or one of.
yeah,
that's why they get paid the big bucks.
But then again, at the start of the tournament, especially Damonkia coming out looking like stupidly strong, and then as things oh fuck, I think I've missed a clip somewhere, but never mind. It was Sonic's winning. There you go. That's your leak. But
They won?
oh my god, it was crazy. But NA definitely came out looking strong. Korea was looking really strong as well at the end of the weekend rank decision. But you know what? That was the start of the tournament. Then we get into like the second week where things get real exciting. And now that little slight leak there, which whoops, my bad. We have not only the players of Fury PUBG, but the coach as well has decided to contribute some of his wisdom for your guys' listening pleasure. So here you go. Take a peek at this.
Welcome to this week's Weekly Wacky Wisdom with Viking, the part of the show where we go over some info and stats that you might not have seen or noticed during the week. So the 2 players we're going to be looking at today is Kildemo and Pengem from Furia and Triumphant Sun Gaming, both managing to only scrape together 1 kill, although that Kildemo had 7 assists, massively underperforming, and I hope to see more from these 2 players next week. In other news, we had a big game coming out of 4 a.m., the 11th game of the series, where they managed to scrape together a ton of nade kills. Take a look at these clips right here. The nades are just on point today from 4 a.m. here, as we see T1 and DA getting totally obliterated by grenades, and the same happened to Oath. That entire game, game 11, there was a ton of nade kills. About 14 nade kills in total, or knocks as well. So, big impact from the grenades in this game. From the stats that we have provided from PUBGRank.org, we can see that a total of 1,119 grenades were thrown, and that amounts to 7.51% of the total damage made by anything, any gun, any throwable, anything. That's a lot of damage. That concludes this week's Wacky Wisdom. As for my own predictions for the weekly finals, I'm gonna say STK runs with it, and back to you, boys.
What do you make of that wacky wisdom? All of the
What a fucking little cutie.
He's so adorable. Bless him. Bless him.
Genuinely, none of us have seen that. Like, none of the
Yeah,
boys have seen that. That's the first time we've seen that. That was great. I didn't even know what to expect. That was awesome.
Went above and beyond with all the stats. But I mean, he brings up a good point about the grenades. I've even seen like Wacky Jackie tweeting about this. It's like it's a lot of fun, but the throwable spam is still there, like even post nerf. Do you think it's like in a decent place? I've seen a lot more use of Molotovs, that kind of thing, since like grenades got nerfed, and that is kind of okay. But there's still like you saw in the clips, they just got shredded by nades.
Yeah, I said this before the tournament started. That I genuinely believe you'll see towards the end of the weeks, like there'll be a lot of teams carrying like a lot less mini ammo, for example. They're not gonna. There's no point in carrying 200 rounds of fives for your mini because it doesn't matter if you get a kill 400 meters away. Why would you carry more ammo when you can carry 4 nades, 4 mollies, 4 stuns, and win a team fight later on? Like you will see a lot more util even than this week.
I think that's
Yeah.
something that
I
sort
actually,
of comes with the format that teams are going to get used to, like playing more for the end game.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's the only reason they'll be carrying a lot is because why? Like I said, why get a kill 400 meters away if you don't need to?
Go ahead, Jesse.
yeah, I've actually been seeing like you see like a car driving by with like 2 guys in it, and they'll knock someone out, and they'll actually like go for the flush instead of just going for the second guy in the car because they're just so used to going for the flushes when it literally means nothing.
There's a couple. There's a bit of that coming out.
Yeah.
Hey, like
Yeah.
like in that what was it? TSM
Phase-
versus Phase Sonics.
Phase Sonics.
No, I think it was Liquid
1v1.
Sonic.
Liquid Sonics. You're right.
Liquid
Liquid
Sonics, okay.
Sonics. Yeah. Yeah, Liquid Sonics, where the
Yeah,
Liquid
1v1.
player went for the flush for some reason in a 1v1,
Just bad habits.
which was odd. Yeah. So I mean, they'll get that out of that system. That's the first week. That was like probably to be expected. I mean, I'm sure we'd all struggle doing that, but yeah, I don't know. Shrimsy still had the better spot, but that could have cost them like potentially down the track. They still qualified, but they could have walked away with 10k as well.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, which gets increased.
Blood,
It's
when,
20k
you know-
now.
Yeah, there
Yes.
you go.
I've got good news for you.
What is the good news?
Found that clip that went missing.
Perfect.
It's because not only were NA looking good in the weekly ranking decision, but they also continued to look good into the weekly survival series. So we'll use that as our transition point because the next clip is once again Sonic's winning in the first game. Like you said, 10k in the bag as well, and the first team to qualify. And NA was looking like pretty nuts. Like this game was between Sonics and SDK for who was going to win. So it was guaranteed an NA team in the top place when it came to the last 2. And look at the hype on Tig's face. That's that OCE energy right there.
Dude, Quinn.
Have I not seen that clip? How is that not like circulating? What
I've
the
seen
fuck
it.
was
That's
that?
that OCE energy right there. But
Dude, Tig's in the chat. Let's go.
oh, noise,
Oh.
noise.
I haven't seen that fucking clip before. He's having
I
an
haven't seen it either.
aneurysm in his chair. What? Okay.
That'd be so hyped though.
Yeah.
Easily.
Especially like it's just a confidence booster.
Definitely.
You know, just like taking our first place in the first game of the first week. Like it's pretty good. It's pretty
Yeah.
clean.
I thought that game was
super-
weird, eh? Did anyone like actually watch what happened? Like, I can't remember what team it was, but Sonic Destroyer just like ran up to this team because they just like didn't hold their edge at all.
Dude,
I thought that was really weird.
I thought Sonic's gonna go north. Like, to
Yeah,
the
me too.
road.
Yeah,
then
but
they
just ran
down the
under.
compound and like they won it. I was
That's-
like, how did they win that fight?
Yeah, I think the team that was like holding them was either did it really poorly or Sonic's had like a really good Overwatcher.
Yeah, I was very impressed by Quinn that game. He clutched up so hard at the end. He
I
was,
swear,
like,
Mime
holding-
did so many big.
Yeah,
big
I mean,
plays there.
all
Yeah,
of
they've all been
Sonics
doing
have
well.
been like crazy good. Shrimsy as well, clutching things out in like multiple situations. So really, overall, like for the entire Western PUBG, like EUNA, it was like a solid, incredible start. So like of the first 5 teams that qualified, there's only one Asian team in there. So
Yeah, 100%.
nobody could have really predicted that or would have predicted that coming in outside of having a sort of bias towards being fans of the team. But that's the way that it's played out, and it's been kind of disappointing for Korea, especially Damwon Kia not qualifying at all after being in first place for quite some time. But we did finally get some Korean teams in at the very end, one of them being Gen G. I remember while we were setting up the cams and stuff in the call, Ronan, you had something that you mentioned about you wouldn't want to play in a lobby that Pio's in because he's just doing some sort of weird stuff. Do you want to just sort of expand on that a bit?
Oh yeah, bro. He's got one of those play styles that just tilt you. He'll ruin a night for you in a heartbeat. I think it was phase 2. The zone had just popped. I can't remember. I think it was 4 a.m. maybe off the top of my head. He basically just snuck up on 4 a.m. and just gets the most ratty kill and then nades it and runs away. And it's a place where if I just pulled up, I'd be sitting there thinking, I'm safe, I'm good, I'm chilling, and then I'd just get killed by PO in the middle of the open for nothing.
Yeah, he just like runs out into like a place you'd never expect someone to be.
You even said like people had like just taken that compound south of the Prio.
It was risky.
To the west
It was
like,
hella
he
risky.
would have been open to that compound as
Yeah,
well.
but PO does that kind of stuff a lot, and that's what I say. Like, it would be so tilting. It would ruin your night to die like in a big tournament like that.
So as someone who casts a lot of games, especially yours, with you guys in it, it almost sounds similar in a weird way to how a lot of the times I'll press M, I'll look at the map, and somehow Fury's in this compound and Waikiki Mukau is 20 kilometers away over that way. A similar thing with like Sophia whenever he's playing. He's always like split up. Is that like the same sort of thing, or is that something different? How do you feel that like the way that you guys would play that would compare to what he's
I
doing?
don't know about that.
Me?
Yeah, you know about his monkey business.
Yeah.
Who? Which one? Cow or Sophia?
Sophie.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whenever you
Yeah,
see
no,
Bay, you know Sof's proning close.
Yeah. Bay has a pretty predictable playstyle. To be honest, Soph has a very predictable playstyle. Not necessarily Bay, to be honest. When that team existed, yeah. It's very easy to tell when Soph's ratting because it's really quiet and you just you know what's you know where he's hiding. He's proning somewhere, looking for a cheeky kill.
Hello.
I think all four of us can agree, like, if we're doing those sort of plays, it's just like a feeling thing. And it's probably the same with PA. Like, if you're just feeling it, like, you're feeling like you can do it, I think we're all happy to, like, let each other do it. And then normally I just get caught out, and then I get flamed after the games and be like, Cow, you're so shit. I'm like,
No.
there! I'm just making sure you guys feel better, you know? If I
swear,
die,
like, none of
I
us
come
pray.
better when I'm dead. I come better when I'm dead, anyway. It's all
I
good.
feel like none of us really ever go for those like prone rat plays ever. We probably should start doing
You
it.
don't do it enough. That's the thing.
Yeah, none of us can sit still for that long. It's too much patience.
Yeah, I've definitely never thought of Fury as the prone rat team. You guys like. I'm kind of interested to how you think that you would get on in a tournament with using this format, because if you think back to like PCS, it became pretty blatantly obvious that the most of your points don't come from winning games. It comes from being consistently in like top 4, getting a bunch of kills. And that's like similar sort of situation to what we've seen from Brew and DA, where it's like, obviously when DA is not trolling, they're in the top 4 with 4 players up, 17 kills, and then still not winning the game. And it's the same thing for Brew. So do you feel like you would have that same sort of struggle?
Yeah, I think it would be a really hard tournament to play mentally. Like, you'd feel like you had a banger game, and then it would just mean nothing in the end. And like, as we know in PCS2, didn't get a single win in PCS2 and tied first. So
we'd probably be in DA and
situation.
That'd be us.
I just want to say, if my teammates wanted to 4-man contest in J compound, I'd probably leave the team that night, even if it's the start of PGI.
Ronan, I'm so glad that you brought that up, because you've just pulled up the perfect segue for this absolute mess. This happened 5 times, and 4 times DA got cleanly wiped.
It doesn't make sense. It's just silly.
And it's not going well again.
They must be doing it for later on in the tournament.
Like, I swear Jay's not even that good at a compound. Like, why do you need that?
You know, the weirdest part about all this is the one time that DA actually won this, they did really well in the game. Then 4 a.m. qualified into the next round, and DA didn't even drop here. Like, they went Millie Island 3 times after this.
I think it might have been a little bit of bad playing, but so the big thing with that is, let's say they win it, right, and then you start learning 1 man in that compound. 4 a.m.'s just gonna get SMGs, get 3 men in a car and breach that cell, and you can't. Your teammates aren't there to help. They can do that every second game, and they've ruined your mental. Like,
they don't own that compound. Like, Rozok should. That's not theirs. That's like, maybe like if a team's leading S-Bend, that's the only time it's like necessarily worth, like, just up to the north, that player should feel safe and, like, you know, relatively secure.
So,
but not Rozok.
Jesse, as like an IGL, what would you do if you found yourself in that situation where it's like a whole team is just crashing onto us? Fury, you've had to contest for drop spots before, like Los Leones, or sometimes you just dipped out of it, like in 303, where there's 4 or 5 teams there for some reason, so you just take Picardo. So you don't seem like the team who's gonna just take that fight, but you'd rather play it a different, sort of more conservative way, especially in this format.
I think as the years have passed, we've realized that drop spots aren't really that important, and I think we feel pretty comfortable playing out of any position. So you know, if 4am want to like contest for that compound, it's like whatever, man, just have it. Like, go for it, man.
Yeah, we see a similar thing to that sort of situation happening, like even back in LPL, the first games, Grief Team 6 just team clapping with a shotgun, like the whole wipe.
Yeah.
There was like 7 kills in that, and 6 of them were with shotguns, which, once again, cool segue, because shotguns is another thing that has been popping up here and there.
Trying to push up, they have
Iroh,
that's actually been huge.
He's been
on
like
this ridgeline.
the pioneer
Iroh
of this, but I've even started to see like
work around these
4am, some
slopes
Korean teams start to pick them up in some
One just
situations as
dancing.
well. He got pretty unlucky here to not get the second.
What the fuck?
He got so unlucky
I
to
didn't see
not
that
get the
coming.
second
Iroh had a
one.
shotgun, but hey.
But
Like if that's a DBS, he gets that.
yeah,
Is
for
he
sure.
just not picking up a DMR, or is this
I
like
feel like
late
that's
game?
actually like dumb, bro. Like, where would he even get that shotgun from?
He just ran
That
out
was
with
like
it from the
next
double
level
whites,
troll, I
most likely.
swear.
Surely he has a DMR for the rest of the game leading out. If he just finds a shotgun in a shack, or like, you know what I mean, like in
Yeah.
a compound that he happens to be at. Hopefully, surely you don't run that from phase 1 onwards. That
No,
just seems
there's
a
no
bit
way.
dumb.
Especially in Miramar. In Miramar, like that's a different story. Like I was saying, like carry less mini ammo, but like Miramar's different. Like you need your mini for late game as well. You still need to like actually shoot people far to make like openings.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot
Yeah,
of the
I'm not quite a fan of that.
a lot of the times where you see it is like, especially with the defending compounds, we've seen it in like PCS and stuff where people pick up double barrels and kill like 3 people breaching. But I don't know, it's weird because he had one who was like playing on the side of the hill. He had one on Everest as well at one
Yes,
point
sir.
that he was picking kills up
Yep.
with. It's so strange.
Perfect
but-
shotgun game, right?
Exactly.
On
like,
Everest.
like you say, it's almost backwards where he's pulling it out,
Yeah,
but it's
100%.
sort of working out for them here and there. I mean, they've qualified, so we'll see exactly how well it works out in the super setting style of thing, or whether it is just a sort of cheap way to save yourself if you're being pushed onto, and then survive a little bit later on into the later stage of the game. I don't really know. We will have to wait and see. But if only there was some sort of genius of PUBG who could potentially give some sort of insight, wisdom into this. Would you guys know of anyone who might be able to help us out? I don't know. Let's see if there's anyone waiting for us here.
Yo, what is up, guys? It's Paper Thin. Happy to be here joining you, you lovely bogans. So, I want to talk a little bit about what I've seen so far at PGIS and my thoughts. I think overall, I'm enjoying this format quite a bit. I wouldn't want to see it all the time. I think once a year we can have fun with this format and kind of use it. It is pretty interesting, actually, to see how the different teams adapt to it. Obviously, NA and EU have adapted very, very well to this play style. The Sonics and the SDK look great. They're hard work. EU continues to just look strong. Somehow FaZe gets it done at the last minute once again. Just what a crazy moment for them. And yeah, a lot of other good teams showing up in here, but definitely for Asia, it's been a bit of a struggle, guys. For Korea, definitely not going the way I expected. They had a tough time in the weekly qualifiers, so you know, I'm just preparing for that this weekend. Just getting some stuff going here. All right, yep, just getting ready for all that. And yeah, I think on a highlight for this, for me, I thought Turtles 1v3 the other day was really impressive during the ranking weekend. And yeah, look forward to more games coming up. We're actually doing both the qualifying matches for the bottom 16 and, of course, the regular top 16 this weekend. I'm going to be working on some of that this weekend, and I'll be casting next weekend. So look forward to that. Thanks for having me, guys. We'll see you later.
Doesn't manage to go quite far
Big
enough
shout
to do
out
enough
to
damage.
Twitter
Turtles
video
starting to
player
move
for
that
being
feet
dog
back
shit
up towards it.
on the download of that one.
Starting to realize
It looked cleaner in the DMs, I'll give it that. But this is his highlight clip, is Turtles 1v3. I'm still sort of 50-50 whether this is a highlight from LG Divine or just a complete throw from Brew. It's definitely...
Team Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more of a throw from Brew, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%.
Pretty shocking throw as well.
He has the position here. I haven't seen this clip. I want to have a fucking clear. This one goes down. Good luck to him. Have I swear, all the
What
clips
have you
you're
been
showing me,
doing?
I've watched
Did you
so
watch?
much PGIS. I've been watching so much. Wait, he one shot.
He just took like.
Got me out. Oh, he's got no. Nah, that's a highlight. That's a highlight.
He did it.
That's brilliant. That's turtle highlight right there. Brew couldn't do anything. That's it's too good. That's too good.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what that is. Yeah.
Great stuff. But like the worst part of that for the side of Brew is obviously they missed out on the first game by like less than a point. It was on kill points, which probably isn't that big of a deal because they only got one extra game, and I doubt that first game that Sonic's actually won would have been the game that Brew would have, qualified from. But the biggest problem with that for them is now they have to play in the reseeding matches because they failed to qualify. And if they were able to maybe get that extra game to get into the top 16, maybe they had that extra chance. But that's like the big problem that they have is the quality of teams who are in the reseeding matches is way beyond what people would have expected. You've got Damwon Kia, you've got DA, who's looking like pretty damn strong, and they don't have to contest with 4am in there. I think it's probably going to be very difficult for Buriram to get that 17th overall again. And any spot that they get below that is less chances they have to qualify for next week. So maybe that little 1v3, if they could have closed that out, could have been a big difference for them.
I won't lie, I don't actually know about the reseeding matches.
Yeah, I thought all 32 teams just played again. But
I thought they just reset.
Yeah, same.
Is that not what happens?
I don't know.
I guess not.
It could be speaking
Pretty
bullets.
sure it's bottom 16 versus each other for like their position in the next one, right? And then
Yeah.
the top
Really?
16 is whatever you finish in the weekly final is your seed. Is that
No.
not correct for the next week?
I think
That's awful.
I think that's what they
I'm
announced.
If so, that's a horrible,
Yeah,
horrible
but
format.
it's
I don't
okay
feel it,
because they've boosted it from a best of 4 to a best of 8. So
Yeah.
you can
Sure, everyone's
up
happy
and
about that.
you can balls it up at least one more time and you can get away with it. But
I'm glad I'm not there.
Wait,
if we'd have
so
told you
strange.
if Ronan had said that like 3 months ago, we would have thought that he's been kidnapped. But this is another conversation topic about the format is the way that people, I think Jeems was tweeting out asking about, how you guys enjoying it. A lot of people are saying that they're enjoying watching the games, but they're not. It's definitely not the most competitive format. And my friend Zach, who probably isn't awake now because he's a prick, decided that he was going to put some stats together because he's an engineering nerd, and he pointed out this particular thing that he just wouldn't drop is that he couldn't get over the fact that Furia had qualified and ENCE hadn't. Because if you look at the stats here, and I told you one of these teams made it into the top 16, every single time you think it's ENCE, but they were one of those similar teams to DA where they're constantly making the final 4 with 4 players alive, but just fail to close it out. And that's like, I don't know. What's your
These
thoughts
stats
on the way the
are all
format?
pretty relative, right, where it comes to how many games they actually
They
played,
actually
so-
played.
Sure, yeah.
I think they played the same amount. Maybe Furia played one or
Really?
two less.
I
think
Furia
Furia
did
played
qualify
6.
late into it.
Because if they're like 1 or 2 games away and they both played like, let's say, over 10, like sure, that's like pretty bad
I think
stats. but
ENCE,
yeah,
I think ENCE played 8 and Furia played either 6 or 7. But essentially,
wow.
if you take away the game that Furia won from their overall, they were averaging less than 1 point per game.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually nice.
it's a bit of a weird one with that whole thing because it's definitely entertaining to watch, and it's not the finals, so it's not like it has to be the most competitive thing, but it should be, in my opinion, 5-5-5 like every day, like games, and top like the people that get the five chicken dinners qual, and then the team that had the like highest kill, not like highest kill game that didn't get a win quals is like the wild card or whatever you want to call it. That way, it's actually like if you're in a bad spot, let's say you're on the edge and it hard shifts and it hard shifts again, you have incentive to be like, okay, boys, this is a salvage game. Let's push this team, kill them, push the next team, kill them, push the next team, kill them, and try and go for that 15, 16 kill, 15, 16 kill, and then die, I guess.
And that would
Rather
put
than
the
7.
likes of DA in the finals as well. So
Yeah, there was definitely a few games where a team literally just got 8 circle fed and they just won the game. And it's like, okay. Like, I feel like any team
Definitely a
at the
couple.
tournament could have done that. And it literally just came down to, like, RNG.
Yeah. I swear they should have made it like whoever got the most points in the game, not whoever won. I feel like that would have made it more interesting.
It is like I think it is super entertaining though. I won't lie.
It has been entertaining.
It's been
And-
awesome to watch.
Well,
With
the
the
games
games
you've watched
now,
now, yeah.
Now that it's
Shut
the
the fuck
weekly
up.
finals,
Yeah.
now that it's the weekly finals as well, it's kind of like this is where it matters to be competitive. So it's like the competitive like integrity actually matters now more than it did before.
Yeah.
So,
Which is almost it stands out to me that LG Divine, they looked like one of the teams who would do better in this winning the game format. Because, like, if you remember, again, the PCS where you tied on points, you had no win. They had 5 in the first 8 games. So, like, surely you'd think with 16 chances they would be one of the teams who qualified, but they, unfortunately for them, were not. So let's have a quick glimpse at the teams who did make it through. So obviously the first day, as we said, was a very big day for the West. 2 NA, 2 EU teams to come through, and it kind of continued on. There's a couple of surprises. Obviously K7 Furia, there you go, 8 games for Furia that they played. So I think it was actually the same amount of games that they played with ENTs, which is wild. But still, it took a while until we got to see an actual Korean team to qualify. Flood, do you have any thoughts on any of the teams that we see here?
Well, I think a lot of these teams actually, especially on like day 2 and 3, were just like at least half of them, I'd say, were teams that just got really, really lucky with zone. Kind of what Jesse was saying. I don't actually remember all the games, but I think at least 2 from day 2 and day 3 were getting like 8 circle fed.
Freak of Freaks.
Yeah,
was
Freak
very-
Freaks.
yeah, circle fed.
Did Fury? Was it K7 or Fury? I think it was one of the two
K7
of them.
got a big one.
Yeah,
K7 got a big feed.
yeah. So like, I feel like I'm not really a big fan of the format. Like, I know people like the viewers like it because it's whoever wins gets through. But I really think that it should be whoever has the most points. I just think it kind of like negates that factor of whoever's the most fed, because then you can still have a team who can like really push to fight every single person their way and drop like second with 16, 17 kills compared to that team who comes first with like 3 kills. It just I think it's a bit silly, to be honest.
It does feel a bit weird that we're using the super settings for everything else apart from the qualifiers for the finals, because the finals use super settings, the seeding decision uses super settings. It's just this, it just throws it all out the window for that one little bit. But you know what? It doesn't matter what settings we're using, what format we're using. FaZe Clan will still leave it until the very last second to qualify. And I know, Cal, you love a comeback story. What do you make of FaZe Clan and their Sunday shenanigans again on a, Wednesday this time?
It's obviously amplified, right? Like from SDK hot dropping them. Like give them as few games as possible to to qualify, and they haven't done the last possible opportunity. So I think if obviously the SDK thing didn't happen and they just did it on its own, it's still an amazing comeback. But the fact that like SDK clearly hot dropped them to put them lower down in the standings, and then for them to qualify would be interesting. And I'd love to see how that dynamic plays out between the two teams. I mean, at least it gets the ball rolling. I mean, I think if you're a team that's already looking set to qualify top 16 and you haven't been, and you're like, there's like 2 or 3 more games left, and you're set and you're still playing. If you're not hot dropping teams, you're just wasting your time. Like I feel like you're just lowering your chances of success by not intentionally in some way. It doesn't have to be a hot drop. Intentionally in some way, fucking another team over. You should be doing that. If you're not doing that, you should get. If I was an organization owner and I saw my team not doing something to intentionally destroy somebody else's game, that's the way the format's set up.
Yeah.
And they should be doing it. And
At
if they're
the
not
same
doing it,
time-
I think they're wasting their time. They're wasting games. They're not doing anything.
I think maybe it's different because I feel like we don't have that like heaps of international experience. But I feel like also you might, if you know you've qualified, maybe you'd want to play the games out properly, so then you could like feel confident, like playing on stage.
get the extra
But
practice.
the first week,
You know what I
second
mean?
week,
'cause it'll
okay,
be
yeah,
the
that's
best
true.
practice.
Yeah, definitely
I
the first week,
don't
second
think
week.
I'd do it. I don't think we'd do it because I
But-
think I'd value the experience.
Well, it depends. It
When the-
really
when the
depends.
prize
If you
money-
want the spot, if let's say they're looting a spot, like let's say we loot Yaz and we decide not to go Yaz this tournament, we decide to loot Lipovka and we're not happy with Lipovka, but we still won 2 games, we qualified, we're like, sweet. Now the Yaz team is doing horrible and we're like, oh shit, they might not qual. Let's just drop on them and try and ruin their chances. Like I can see it working.
Yeah, okay.
And that's
It's you have to do that on week 5, week 6.
Yeah.
Like if you're not intentionally knocking good teams out week 5, week 6, or not even like good team. Maybe a team got lucky in week 3 and got first, if you're not knocking them out week 4, 5, and 6, and you have that opportunity to, you're trolling.
Yeah,
you should get fined by your org.
Dude, imagine the team that's like doing really well in the prize money. And
Exactly.
everyone's just hunting them down.
Yeah, you should.
This
You
is
should do that.
And that's the thing, is that
gonna
the
be
prize
stuffed.
money in the finals is top 4, right? So it's not even like it goes down to 8 teams. So you have a quarter of the lobby who will have that big target on their backs, and the people are just going to start third partying if they see them fighting, because they want to knock them down and have the chance to overtake them. But you know what? Top 4, that's the goal for the prize money. But if we're talking about the winners of the week, that's the overall end goal. So we want to get your little predictions in on who we think is going to walk away with week number 1. Of course, the Pick'em challenge in game, you get your free coupon. You can redeem the code, like the casters, especially Poro, does love to remind us of every time it comes up. He's probably getting told by production to do it. But maybe you've got one and you're thinking, who do I drop it on? Insight, who are you dropping your coupons on?
I actually dropped both my coupons on STK and Sonics. Yeah, I think they were definitely the most consistent. I tweeted about it. Like, they both got top 3 in the ranking decision, and then Sonics qualified first. I think STK was it 3rd? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was
Fourth,
pretty
something.
4th. Yeah. It's like they were easily the most consistent, but number 1 I think will be STK.
Blood, do you agree?
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing. I think NA is actually looking really strong. Like, pretty much all the NA teams looking really good. But I don't think STK's playstyle is probably more consistent. Like, at least how they've been playing, they've been getting a lot of points every game. But I think Sonics could win easy too. Just depends which one is having a good weekend, I guess. But yeah, I'll go for STK as well.
All right, Mr. Waika Kamukau, who you got?
I mean, I've got to go with the boys. The NA hype train is like definitely there. But I'm going opposite direction in the other team, Sonics. Sonics have been playing freaking phenomenal PUBG. I mean, first in the ranking decision, and then obviously first game done. And so I'm backing my homeboy Tig and H-Win and Mime and Shrimsy to take it out in the first week. Looking good.
All right, are we gonna get a 4 for 4 NA, Ronan?
No.
No.
See what? No, I want STK to do well. STK are my boys. I hope they win. But I'm going to mix it up. I'm a gambling man. I'm going to say TSG. Triumph for Sun Gaming. I'm going to go them. I like those guys. They clutch up. Those guys are clutch. So.
That is the team TSG. That they got their victory on the game where DA had the 17 kills. So they denied DA entry and claimed it themselves, and it was off a bit of a solo. So yeah, they are.
See, I did. I think YOLO vote them PCS 2 when they were. I don't think I even knew who they were, and the games hadn't even started yet, and I just picked TSG because I was like, cool name. And then they won.
They phased up on the last, literally again the last game they overtook. Was it T1 and somebody else, Griffin Infantry something, and yeah, TSD just overtook them both at the very last second. Pretty wild. So there you go. That's your predictions there, chat. So you know who to blame if you spend your coupons and they don't make top 4. I had nothing to do with it. Don't shoot the messenger. All that, you know.
Right, who do you vote for?
I'm staying out of this.
Vote for Fury.
Vote for Fury. Fury.
Fury. Yeah, vote for Fury.
Just means Fury.
So. One final thing then to cover is that we've got the predictions, we've gone over the highlight plays, we've gone over who we think is going to win, how we think it's going to play down, and of course you always have to have the blooper reel at the end, the moments of whoops, we fucked it up again. And you know what, there was quite a few this week. There was a few to choose from, but I've picked out a solid top 3 for you, and not all of them are player fails, so that's going to be one to keep out for. Yeah, let's get
I haven't watched any of these.
Into it. Oh, I know you've seen at least one, but
oh, let's go.
You know what?
It's the brew one. I'm calling it.
This now puts the one player downstairs in a 1 versus 2. I'd say you have to clutch this up with a molly to the face. Wicked is burning at the wayside. Get
he knows what's coming.
Try and give me some help here, brother.
This tilted
because
me.
I'd say if he comes up these stairs, this is a vital.
That's so dumb. That's so dumb.
That's where that was a game mechanic thing.
Yeah.
It was. The door was bugged.
Yeah.
Silzen.
Oh man.
That would happen to Ronan.
Yeah.
I'd smash my keyboard if I was at LAN. That happened to me.
Oh man. So yeah, it's not all of them that's player fails, but you know what? Some of them are.
Yep, now that's my shit.
Might be. I'm not sure.
I've seen this
This
one.
wasn't a player fail. This is a game.
Hey,
fail.
come on. It's like you said before. Going for the flush there? Why bother?
it's
Just
gonna be
drive
surely
off.
getting the flush on-
That's a clean flush. That's I
It
would
is.
I would go
Why
for
It
don't
that.
you
is.
just
It is.
accelerate?
But then
Why-
again,
Yeah.
He should have. Yeah.
I think he can't get back in. At this point, like,
Yeah.
he can't get back
Yeah.
in.
He was in
he's-
there for a
he's just
second
dumb.
though.
yeah,
Yeah, but then he got
he-
out, but then he couldn't get
Yeah.
back.
He tried to move
There's
to
no
the
way he doesn't
front
try.
seat. Yeah.
I'm-
Oh man.
Man, PUBG. The
Cool.
reason
This game
I
ever happened?
what? PGI is
Oh,
just like
man.
really pushing the limits of just how can we fuck over all the pro players possible.
You know what? Maybe it's just trying to teach them about the format. You like, you know what? Don't go for the flush. That like obviously you want to get PO out of the lobby, sure, and
True.
like that's gonna be a boost to everyone. But you know what? If you're not playing to the format, iGame's gonna screw you over. But you know what? Sometimes the game tries to screw you over, and it just doesn't work out in the game's favor.
Yeah,
This
is
one
a
was
bit of a cluster. You've got Tiamba here, you've got Fury here,
Oh,
and DA
no.
trying to
I don't
lead
even know
him.
how
These aren't player fails. This is
I know.
PUBG sucking.
Like,
the fact that he gets the knock there
Wait,
as
he
well.
still knocked him.
That's so yeah.
Yikes.
Dude, that's
Oh,
embarrassing
man.
for
That's-
Rapsu. Jesus.
That's
He was probably
That clip was
just-
great.
that's
he
a
was
big
probably
one.
so confused. So
But you know what? He still came out
Okay.
ahead. He still clutched it up. But yeah, man, PUBG is still a game with solid vehicle physics. We can put that in for the 2021. So that's all the clips I came prepared with. So do you guys have anything else
Those are the
you wanna talk about? Any questions in chat that we could chuck out real quick? A couple of them.
Yeah, if anybody's getting
Something like
questions in
that.
the chat, I
Or
guess.
is there any comments you have
I
to
just-
make on anything yet?
I legitimately, I don't think I've had that much fun watching PUBG than I have recently, and I just don't know if it's the format, but I hope it continues anyway. Like, whether it's the like, so I guess we'll find out if it continues throughout the whole tournament. I can probably pin it on the format, but like that week of like PUBG was fucking mental. That was so much fun to watch, and yes, I watched fucking games. I watched them, just not a couple of those clips.
I think it's awesome how the teams I'm rooting for are actually doing well. Like NA doing well is like it's super exciting. Makes me feel like I'm an EU fan or something.
Yeah, it looks like it's been missing from international PUBG LAN events where no one's playing on 300 ping because that sucks for everybody. But it feels like so cool just to have it all. Although obviously the Chinese, Japanese teams, or whatever, are playing not on LAN, but I don't know. It feels like that's something that's been missing for a while, and it just makes it that much more fun as well.
100%.
I think everyone's
Okay.
really laughing at the chat right now.
Yeah. So
Everyone except Nathan's read the chat.
so yeah.
I think
that's-
everyone kiss Flood.
Oh,
When
kiss
will like give in to kissing Flood? What do you mean? I've already done that. No stress.
What?
No
Can't
stress.
say that.
Don't you remember? It was water
No.
polo practice.
Sorry, Lon.
Oh, jeez.
There you go. There's one. Jam Gucci's asking, "Do you have a Valentine yet, Blood?" Because I think
Yeah,
he's-
I'll be playing PUBG TDM. It's my Valentine's.
Me and Flood are playing event mode
Yeah,
together.
we're playing event mode on Sunday.
That shit's fun.
Candle
That's
will be
Play the
lit.
event mode. Play the event mode. That shit is.
If any of you in
Except when you
chat
died hackers. That's
haven't played it, it's actually so fun.
Yeah, except when a team with 3 hackers with MT49s are in a car just driving at you.
Yeah, that was.
Oh,
Not quite as
that's
fun.
my tinfoil hat theories, because that event mode is a lot of it is based around vehicles and infinite ammo in vehicles, all that kind of stuff. They made the seat swap changes because all of the devs tested it were too bad to seat swap people, so they made it easier to do it purely for this event mode because they were worried that
True.
most of the casuals who would enjoy like playing that wouldn't be able to do anything. That's my
fair, it's a
tinfoil
good
hat
theory.
theory.
I don't think it would be as fun.
I hope
without
they
the-
nerf that shit into the ground. I'm sick of seat swapping, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be
I
true.
love it.
I feel like there hasn't actually been a ridiculous amount of like a huge increase of that sort of like those sort of kills happening in PGIS. I feel like I'm getting more of my fucking
There
SCA
was-
ranked.
There was that one game where
There's
Sonic's
so
got
many seat
4
swaps
seat
in
swap
PGI.
kills in phase 1
Didn't
towards
watch
the
that
end of
game.
the
My
week
bad.
decider.
Coward.
Didn't watch that one.
Cal's watching not the same tournament as us.
I'm pretty sure.
He's
pretty
watching
sure I've
VODs.
seen
There's
Tell you
at
what,
least one seat on
Last
every
year's
single game.
PGC, maybe.
I'll tell you what. After the phase win, I went back and watched that last year. Phase win. That got me hyped.
Oh, nice.
Oh, you know what? They
Yeah,
did
they'll
it
do it
again this week. Oh, I've just switched the wrong fucking screen. God damn it. I thought I was on studio mode. But, you know, they did it again this week. And you know what? They have a chance again to do it in the weekly finals coming up in just a couple of days. So, yeah, I think, you know what? We're about ready to round this out, as I may have already leaked by switching to the ending screen by thinking I was on studio mode. So, yeah. This was PGIS Down Under, Cow's Twitch chat's brainchild, putting together. We're hoping to do it every week. So you know what? If you guys have clips, anything like that, that you think, you know, is a player fail this time around, or the game balls us up, or a highlight clip, whatever, just send that over to me, and we can get get them ready for the next.
That's right.
No,
Send them to Cal.
Don't send them to him, because then we can get his live reaction.
Yeah, get my
That's more
genuine
fun.
reaction. That's right, exactly. Fucking enjoy it. Do you enjoy it, Flood? Do you enjoy
I
my
love your
genuine
reactions.
reactions?
I love your
Yeah,
genuine
fucking
reactions.
Straight. That's right.
Yeah, and we're playing the Thai League in an hour and a half, so everyone
Yes,
come
come
watch.
join.
Yes,
Come watch.
absolutely
Oh,
do.
yes.
Fury
Get plugged
is
in.
you know, solidly in first place so far after a day of games. So see if they're
I'm
able
pumped to see-
to keep that up.
I'm pumped to see Paperthin on the mic.
Yeah.
Wait, is
he hasn't
Paper Thing
been on.
casting it?
Paper.
He said something this weekend in the clip. He said he's
Oh,
doing
okay.
something this weekend, I think. I don't know if he's casting. He said he had something on, I think.
Okay.
Not Thai League.
No,
You're talking about.
sorry, I really went a different direction there.
Yeah, you kind of switch up the subject real
My
quick.
bad.
Oh man.
My bad.
All right, we'll have to let everyone go before Cal starts bringing up another subject and going on a tangent and keeps us here for another hour. So thank you everyone for showing up and watching. This is kind of an experimental thing, but I think overall, apart from the times where I pressed the wrong button a couple times, but that happens, everything's gone pretty smooth. It's been fun to chat, get your guys' thoughts on PGIS, and see you back next week. Same time, same place.
Thanks, Rick. You little
Same
cutie.
time,
Bye,
same place.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye, Rick.
everyone.